Every person in this world has a price, and no one knows that better than China. The situation that has now unfolded is something no one could have imagined. China has pulled a move that directly checkmates Trump. Imagine this. Trump and China face to face, and China places an offer on the table. Beijing tells Trump, "I will invest $1 trillion in your country. I will build factories, create jobs, and boost your economy. But in return, you will agree to certain terms. The first condition is clear. No support for Taiwan's independence. Not just silence, but direct opposition to Taiwan's independence. Second, remove the tariffs imposed on Chinese goods. Third, end all so-called security concerns about Chinese companies, apps like TikTok and Chinese students and engineers. If these conditions are met, China promises massive investment that could transform the U.S. economy. This is a huge victory for China, and reports suggest Trump is leaning toward agreeing. To understand the scale, in 2016, China invested about $57 billion. Now Beijing is talking about $1 trillion, nearly 20 times bigger. If this goes through, China will dominate U.S. markets like never before. Factories will be set up in America, but the raw material and components will still come from China. That means while Americans get jobs in assembly, the real production and profits flow back to China. For example, consider iPhones assembled in India. The parts still come from China. The same model will apply here. China supplies everything, Americans just assemble. Europe, Japan, and the Middle East cannot compete with this scale. China not only gets access to the U.S. consumer market, but also reduces tariffs on its exports, making its products even cheaper and more competitive. This deal would also end the fight over apps like TikTok. Once seen as a major security threat, TikTok and similar Chinese platforms will now enter the American market freely. Chinese electric car companies like BYD will gain access to the U.S. auto market. Fashion brands like Shine will expand. From electronics to clothing, Chinese products will flow into the United States without restrictions. For Trump, the benefit is simple. Millions of jobs will be created inside America. He can present it as a major victory, telling the public that China is investing in the U.S. instead of just taking profits. For China, the benefit is even bigger. It gains long-term control of America's consumer base, ensures continuous exports, and removes political resistance on issues like Taiwan. This is why analysts are calling it the mother of all deals. It reshapes global power. With $1 trillion on the line, Trump can no longer afford to fight China. Instead, the U.S. will become more dependent on Beijing's supply chains, factories, and technology. Europe is stunned by this move, realizing China has bypassed them and gone straight for America. China's strategy is clear.